and wants to know, should weddings, therefore, should he hold the wedding in a farmhouse outdoors, or should he look for an indoor hotel venue?
Well, it's definitely better to have it open, if you can have a nice garden and organize that, that's definitely much better. Of course, we are starting to get worried about the air quality index in Delhi, which folks in Bombay don't have to worry too much about.
Yes.
So, we have that problem here. And definitely we are seeing a lot of flu. I have to say in the last 2 weeks, we are seeing a fair amount of influenza.
But not COVID related. Not COVID related. That's the regular winter influenza.
Yeah, that's right. Not COVID related, but that can play a spoiler as far as parties go for those who are planning, biggish weddings and parties like that.
Dr. Thakkar, a question coming to you from Mumbai, your city, planning to reopen our office in Nariman Point in the first week of December. Should we follow the hybrid model or allow full attendance?
You can begin with the hybrid model and then gradually go into full attendance, because when you start after such a long gap, you will need to break in. So try the hybrid model to begin with. Dr. Jamil is in UK, and I pity him, because after a lot of vaccinations, 67% of the population vaccinated. I don't know how many waves they had, but I am happy that India can teach a lesson to UK, that they opened up. We saw the Crest matches, we saw the Wimbledon matches, and they have more than 50,000 cases, and we have less than 15,000 cases.
But is that a warning somewhere in what you're saying, that during Diwali, post Diwali, should we be opening up once again, treating it as life is normal, or should we wait at least at the very least till January before we know that we can hold these large gatherings of any kind in the country?
That's what I said right in the beginning. You have another 3-4 months to negotiate, and if you hold large gatherings, you're going to be in trouble, because you have the advantage. You vaccinated, you separated, you had good lockdowns.
Right.
Britain does not want another lockdown for economic reasons, and neither can we afford it. So I would say go the hybrid model, go slow. I'm happy our government is slow in unlocking, and that's certainly helping us.
Dr. Jamil, you wanted to say something, yes?
Yes, I just wanted to add that what Dr. Thakkar says is absolutely right. I mean, UK has vaccinated almost 90% of adults.
Right.
Yet, they are touching about 50,000 cases per day here. And that's because no one wears a mask. Outside, of course, no one wears it. Indoors, it is, it's voluntary for people to wear masks on public transport and indoors. And I see maybe only about 20% wearing a mask indoors. So that is what makes the critical difference. But if I may add,
yes,
the mortality figures are way down. And that's because of the vaccine. In the second wave in UK, mortality rates were 2%.
Right.
Now mortality rates are 0.2%.
So in a way,
the difference is the vaccine.
Sure. So the vaccine protects you from hospitalization and severe disease, but wearing masks and social distancing remains essential to provide you a level of protection while the virus is still around. That's the way perhaps to put it. Since we spoke about masks, I don't know, Dr. Swaminathan, whether you're a singer, but is karaoke singing without masks okay? This is asked by my producer. He's a karaoke singer. Wants to know, is karaoke singing allowed without the mask?
That's a problem, because singing, especially high-pitch sounds, tend to nebulize a lot more than regular talking. But I suspect that even the way Indians talk, we tend to be a little more forceful and loud with the way we talk. So I suppose even regular speech induces a lot more aerosols akin to singing in the Western world. But jokes apart, I think singing would be a concern. I would definitely encourage a mask usage for such a activity, yes.
Okay. Encourage masks while you're doing karaoke. Dr. Sibal, I'm sure a lot of your clients are saying they want to go on holidays. It's holiday time, take the kids out, get a break. What should people be keeping in mind while deciding on a tour destination? Are there particular destinations that you would say are safer than others? We saw with hill stations being packed a few months ago across Himachal, traffic jams. Do you believe there are some places safer than others?
Well, there's a lot of common sense involved in making this decision. Obviously, there are a lot of people who are heading towards Goa, and Goa is very, very popular for people who live in the north, and for many people in many parts of the country, going to the hills is where they prefer to go. But of course, that will all decrease unless you're interested in seeing the snow and so on. So it's largely going to be to warmer climates. The important point to consider is it's not so much about the location you're going to, but where you're going to stay and what are you planning to do. That's where you have to be cautious. And if you, for example, see that suddenly there's a spurt of cases, then perhaps not such a great idea going there. And of course, a point that we emphasize over and over again, that SMS is here to stay. So just because you headed out and you're on holiday and mentally I want to relax and I want to unwind and all, but the masks are there and hand washing is there and social distancing is there, because when these are put aside, that's where the problem starts.
So even on holiday, maintain COVID protocols. Dr. Swaminathan, which is safer, metro, cabs, or auto rickshaws?
So auto rickshaw has the advantage of having good open air ventilation and therefore good cross ventilation. But in a cab as well, if the driver is wearing a mask and you're the only other person and you're wearing a mask, the risk is actually not too bad. Yes, having the windows open may actually give you some advantages. But if the heat is oppressive, then it's a question of whether you want your sanity or whether you want COVID. So I guess you'll have to choose that. But yes, if you have good cross ventilation, I'm not worried about either.
Okay, this is again asked by my producer. Perhaps, he's the same one who asked about karaoke. He's asking, are discos and pubs safe now, Dr. Thakkar? Can you, close places, pubs where, people will be in close contact? How do you maintain social distancing in a pub is a huge challenge. And people, when they are drinking, will not be wearing masks. So would you advise people in small gatherings, go to discotheques or go to pubs in particular?
I'm sorry to play spoil sport for your producer and all the other pub hunters, but unless you have a pub where there is a lot of social distancing, hardly any smoke to not make you cough, I would say no pubs, certainly no discos where people are cheek by jowl. God knows what's happening inside. And having said this, in India, people wear helmets or seat belts because they don't want to pay a fine. So by the same token, people wear masks because they will be apprehended. You have to realize that you need the mask for the value of your life and not to prevent a fine.
And presumably wearing the mask above your nose, not below it like I tend to do and get myself into trouble. Am I correct?
Sooner than later, if you don't wear it properly, and if you wear a chin mask or a lip mask, you could get into serious trouble.
I was caught by a traffic policeman not too long ago in Delhi because my mask was below my chin. But I just want each of you, as we end, to tell me and put your thumbs up if you agree with me, that all four of you believe that compared to where we were 2 or 3 months ago when we had our last COVID roundtable, we are in a better place. If you think we are in a better place, put your thumbs up. Oh, that's good. So there's unanimity.